So good morning. It's a pleasure to be here today with engineer Dimitrios Billis, who has just defended his master thesis inside our specializing master project and contract management in construction works. His master thesis is about a project in which he has been involved in the past. The project is an affordable housing project in Bahrain, in which Dimitrios has been a site manager, and he has used this project to write his master thesis, describing the project and review it with the tools that the professional tools that this specializing master has tried to provide him. And today we are with Dimitrios to know something about his experience in this specializing master.
Good morning, Professor. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to participate in this program, this masters, and thank you for guiding me through the whole process to properly understand and comprehend the subject of the contract and project management, and finally compiling my thesis. As you said, it was in the project that I already worked as a site engineer. It was my first project. I was a junior site engineer back then. It was a big project, big scope. The timeline was 2.5 years. With the prolongation that and the extension of times, we reached over 3 years for the completion time. These things are all detailed in the thesis for anyone who's interested. They can
Dimitrios, first of all, would you tell us something in general about your experience in the specializing master? For instance, you have followed as a working student. How was your experience putting together your job with the following of the lesson, this kind of?
Of course, and I want to start by saying that that was the most important thing, that this master allowed me, and I guess for many others, to expand my knowledge while at the same time working, because I could not afford during those years to be neglecting my work to follow a master that they will not give me this flexibility. It was very important for me. It was the main reason was the subject of the project of the masters, but at the same time it allowed me to do this. So it was without question, when I found out about the project, which I found online, I said that this is for me, this is what I want to do, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to do that in such a way.
Very good. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, tell me.
I will not hide that I struggled these 2 years. That was part of the academic year of the masters. I struggled with personal issues and many things that were preventing me to do a lot of things. And having this opportunity to complete the masters, even with all of these things, it was very important for me, and I'm really, really grateful about this.
It's great to hear this, and I really hope that this experience has been useful and a good one for you. So I found your master thesis that to be very much in line with the topics of the specializing master. Would you mind showing us some slides, those that you think are the most interesting from your master thesis?
Of course. Part of the main part of my thesis is about the delaying factors that happened during the project construction stage, which were 6 main of those 6 main events, delaying events that were that happened. And I will show you the slide for the site possession, which was here. The first obstacle that we encountered was with site possession. Parts of the scope of the project were not available to us. A big farm was occupying big portion of the site area. And you can see here in the slides, this was not resolved when we had the commencement date. We were already mobilized to the site, and we had to work around this area, which caused obstacles for us in the construction itself, but also it had to make a variation for the project with all the implications that this can cause to construction project. But the main photo I want to show it is this one, where the vertical constructions, as we say, it was stopped, it was interrupted because there was a problem with the material approval for the lintels, an inexcusable rejection of the submitted materials. This one caused the delay of the project maybe for 4 or 5 months, where you can see in this slide that we could proceed in the site areas, which was split into 5 phases. We could proceed until before finishing the ground floor, until the lintel height of each villa. So you can see we spread all over horizontally in the project, because that was the contractor's like goodwill to proceed with the project and not stop. We would work wherever we could, but yes, we can proceed horizontally, but vertically, which later involves so many steps in the construction process, to go to bring the floor slabs, precast slabs, then to complete the floors, the staircases, and all the finishes after that, plaster, windows, everything. So this one we went hugely outside of the project time schedule, and the critical path went all over the place. All activities became critical after some point.
Okay, so you told me that despite of all these difficulties, the company has chosen to end all the works
yes,
that were included in the contract. Unfortunately, things couldn't be settled in an amicable way. You had to go, your company had to go to court with the client, and if I have understood correctly, the dispute is still ongoing.
Yes, as I saw in this slide, that was the 6 major delaying events. In all of them, there was no even though we went through negotiations and meetings and claims and everything, for some reason there was no response from the client. They were refusing to compensate for any of those variations, even though many of them were in faults in the design. But still they were refusing. We had to conclude in an arbitration and adjudication process, the courts, as you said, which most of them, actually all of them, were in favor for most of the points that the contractor was requesting. More than 80% of the claims were actually authorized, approved, and agreed from all the courts that we reached, that we had to dissolve our disputes. And yes, the client was refusing to compensate even after all of these court decisions, and up to this day, I think right now they're in the process of finally reimbursing all of those amounts.
But do you think that the contractor, your company, could have done something different from the beginning in order to avoid this situation, or was almost impossible?
I feel that contractually, and with the things that I learned in this masters, they could have done it. First of all, they could have been a bit more strict contract, because there was a condition, a sub-clause in the contract that was forcing the contractor to proceed with works even though disputes were ongoing, unless they want to stop the work, go for a breach of contract, and go to courts before even finishing. But it was the contractor's decision to continue with the works. That is their approach in most of the projects. That's from the high management. They want to keep up their good name. They want to show their intent on completing the project, and that is not an attempt to gain extra,
sure.
because I know these things are happening in this field, giving a small offer in the tendering and then trying to reimburse all these extra costs from these things. But here we have the decisions of two neutral courts, arbitration adjudication, and also local courts were in favor of the contractor. So here there is no denial that who was at fault.
About
Yes, there's no doubt about this. So the contractor, though they wanted to proceed, they finished the contract at the best time, even with all of those delays, because as I told you, we could not work due to the lintels that I showed also in the slide, but also to the change of the thermal insulation specifications. We couldn't work for many months until a decision in the technical part of the project was taken. Still, the contractor fulfilled their obligations. They proceeded with the works, and they, in my belief, they finished the project in a very good time, despite all of these problems. But yes, if they wanted to, I believe that if they wanted to, from the beginning, to have a case against them, they could take the contractual steps that we learn in this master also, and they are mentioned also in the thesis, and actually declare the stop work until the design specifications are finalized, first of all. You not work without finalized design. So they could have done this. But that was the decision. It proven to be, in the end, it proved to be a good decision because they saw the good name, they're a good contractor, they kept the reputation, and in the end, they will be compensated for all of these extra costs.
Okay. Thank you, Dimitrios. Again, I think you've done a really good job, and I know that you, in the meantime, you also had the chance to open your own company in Greece.
Yes, a freelance office, technical office.
As a consultant, of course, I hope, I really wish to you that all the professional tools and information this master has tried to provide will go on being useful for your professional career in the future.
Thank you very much. And of course, that is my next step in my career, my wishful step that I want to take, to become also a consultant for contracts while freelancer in my own. That is my target.
Your goal.
That's my goal, yes.
Goal for the future.
So that's why I undertook this master's. I was very determined to do it, even though it was one or two cases where I wanted to drop out. I was facing the personal issues that I told you, but I said no. When I take a decision,
you decided to go on until the end because again you have done a really good job. It would be a real pity to drop out this course.
Yes.
In the middle of it.
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you very much, Dimitrios.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank all the professors there in the Politecnico di Milano. It was an amazing experience. And the most important is you're giving us the opportunity, people who are facing everyday struggles like all of us. And we cannot neglect work, and you're giving us the opportunity to expand our field and go further in our career. It is amazing. It's amazing. Really, thank you.
Thank you very much for the kind words, and take care, and let's keep in touch.
Thank you, of course. Thank you. All the
Bye,
best. Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.